What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have ShamWow, who is going to be on Mythic Ruler, versus Propkers 2K10, who is going to be on Mermail. Both very, very good players. I don't think I've had ShamWow featured on this channel yet. I think he might have taken some time off from playing or something, or maybe just not playing in events as much, because I definitely remember before I even started posting videos when I would still, follow all the H.A.T format stuff, but more for personal reasons, I would always see his name in a lot of the top cuts and other things like that. So pretty cool. It should be a good match. I've definitely shown off Propkers 2K10 here before, and he always plays some good stuff, and he always plays very well. So let's actually get into this and see what happens. Here, it looks like ShamWow will be starting this one out. Opening hands, we see Dragon Shrine, Debris Dragon, Tidal, Trade-In, and Upstart Goblin. And on the other side, we see MST, Abyss Sphere, Teus, Genix Controller, and Soul Charge. Here, ShamWow gets a copy of Burial from a Different Dimension. They're going to go Dragon Shrine, sending Blue Eyes and Whitestone, adding a copy of Blue Eyes. Then they're going to go Trade-In, discarding Blue Eyes, getting another Upstart and a Torrential. After that, they go Upstart, get a Soul Charge, which is very strong, and then a Upstart into a Flamevel Guard. Let's see what they do here. Next, they're going to go Soul Charge for 3, getting back the Blue Eyes, double Blue Eyes and Whitestone. And they're going to Synchro for a copy of Azure Eyes. The Azure Eyes uses its effect, and passing it over, not even setting the Torrential or anything, which is, a pretty solid play here. Propkers gets a copy of Skill Drain. They're going to set the, the Breakthrough, the MST, and the Sphere. And they're going to take a second to think here, and they do choose to set the copy of Controller, I guess because of just all the pressure that dragons can really put up. Here, ShamWow will draw, and was that the Torrential or the Bottomless they drew there? I might have missed that. In the standby phase, Azure Eyes is going to attempt to get back the Blue Eyes, but here the Breakthrough skill is going to be activated to negate that, setting 2. And it looks like at the end of the main phase here, Sphere is going to be activated to summon Lind. They say it's good, and still in main phase, they're going to go Tidal, banish 2 to summon the Tidal. Next, they're going to normal summon Flamevel Guard, and they're going to go for Crimson Blader, switch the Azure Eyes to attack, and attack in. Here, the Crimson Blader runs over the controller, and Blader's effect will activate that says, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn, which is extremely good when Mermail has a lot of higher level monsters, things like the copy of Teus, for example, or something like a Megalo or a Title of their own. So very strong card there. Azure Eyes is then going to attack into the Lind. The Lind effect will trigger, and they are going to go for, Pike here. Use the Pike effect, discarding the Teus to add a copy of Undyne. Makes a lot of sense since that Teus wouldn't be able to really be used on the following turn. And then Blue Eyes into the Pike. Back over to Prop, who will draw a copy of Allure, which is very good because of this Undyne here. They're going to normal the Undyne, use the effect, and send Heavy Infantry as cost, and add a copy of Controller. Here, Infantry will then pop the Crimson Blader, Allure Darkness getting a MST and Lind, banishing the Controller, and then MST going for the Torrential, and then the other MST taking out the Bottomless. Here, they're going to go for a Soul Charge. This could be a big swing here. Going for, it looks like Lind, Controller, and Pike. And let's see what they do here. They're going to use the Pike, discarding the Lind to get a copy of Gun from deck. Overlay for Leviair, detach the Undyne, get back the Controller here. Overlay for a copy of Mechwhip Engineer, and just pass over. Okay, I wonder in this exact situation why they would go for the Leviair in attack. I guess maybe what they could be thinking is, if anything, they get the choice of which one they get to protect. If they decide that they want to keep the Leviair here, they could use the Mechwhip and switch the Leviair to defense, and then this gets run over. So I wonder if there was a specific reason, if they were thinking like if something from here gets banished from, something ShamWow might have, but very interesting. Anyways, ShamWow got a copy of Dragon Shrine, and let's see what happens. They're going to use Azure Eyes to bring back the Flameveil Guard. They're going to go Dragon Shrine, dumping another Flameveil Guard and a Blaster. Next, they're going to use Blaster, banishing the Crimson Blader and Tidal to bring out the Blaster. Tidal effect to get a Mythic Water Dragon. Oh, so maybe they're going to synchro for Scrap Dragon. Oh, they are going to go for the Scrap Dragon. Special summon the Mythic Water Dragon. Here, the Mechwhip Engineer is going to use its effect on itself, so that will switch it to defense position, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Then going battle phase and running over the Pike, and then Blue Eyes will attack over the Leviair. Main phase 2, going for a Divine Dragon Knight Felgrane, and passing it over to Propkers, who will get a copy of Teus, which is very strong with that Gund. Switching the Engineer to attack using the Teus to discard the Gund to special summon itself. Then Gund effect is going to activate, targeting Pike, it looks like, and adding a copy of Turge. Next, they are just going to go and normal summon the Turge here. Overlay for a copy of Lavalval Chain. Detach Turge to send nothing because the Felgrane is going to be activated. Oh, but the Breakthrough skill is going to be able to be chained to that, sending the copy of Tidal. So now they can go for a rank 7, maybe going for a Big Eye or something. No, they're just going to go battle phase and let the Tidal walk over the Azure Eyes. And then main phase 2, they are going to go for the Big Eye, taking the copy of Scrap Dragon, using Scrap Dragon to pop the Mechwhip Engineer, chaining the Mechwhip Engineer so it will be protected, but the Felgrane will be destroyed here. Back over to ShamWow, who gets a copy of Card Trooper. Very back and forth here. The Blaster is going to be activated, summoning the Blaster. Then going Burial from a Different Dimension, putting back the Tidal, Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes. Next, they're going to use that Tidal, banishing 2 to summon it, and overlay for Big Eye of their own. Okay, so Big Eye Wars, using the other Big Eye to take back the Scrap Dragon, summon the Card Trooper, milling 3, just hitting a Corseska there. Using the Scrap Dragon to pop the Card Trooper to pop the Mechwhip Engineer, Card Trooper will draw into a copy of Dragon Shrine. Going battle phase, attacking over, and then the Big Eyes can attack here. Dragon Shrine in main phase 2, sending a copy of Redox. Back over to Prop, who gets a copy of Abyss Lead, so very back and forth, and we are going straight into a game number 2. Very skillful play from both players here. You know, you love to see types of games like this, especially with these higher level players with these very nice decks. Prop will be able to start this one out, however. Opening hands, we see Corseska, Burial from a Different Dimension, Wing Blast, Tree Dragon, and Blue Eyes. So unfortunately, not the best hand here from ShamWow. And on the other side, we see Genix, Controller, Solemn Warning, Teus, Dragoons, and Controller. So not the best with the double Controller, but still having Teus and Dragoons and a Warning is very solid from Prop here, who will also get to draw for turn, getting a copy of Tidal. Here they're going to go Teus, discard the Dragoons, summon the Teus. Here Dragoons and Teus will trigger, adding a copy of Pike and a copy of Megalo. Here they're going to go and summon the copy of Pike, discarding the Tidal, adding a copy of Marksman. Next, they're going to set Warning and pass it over. ShamWow gets a copy of Max C. And let's see what they do. They're going to set the Wing Blast and set the Tree Dragon and Burial. And pass it back over to Prop, who gets another copy of Pike here. Normal summons Controller. They take a second to think. They're going to go Wing Blast, discarding the Blue Eyes to put back the Controller on top of deck. Kind of funny. Here, Megalo will then activate, discarding the Marksman and Pike. Max C is chained to that, so Megalo will be summoned, and it looks like ShamWow draws a copy of Guard. And then here, Megalo and the Infantry will activate, and Prop will get a copy of Sphere, and the Burial from a Different Dimension will be destroyed. Kind of nice there also, because since the Controller was put back, they now have the Controller back in deck rather than in hand. So, you know, if they get an Undyne, unless they were on 3 Controller, which in the more 40 card builds, you don't really see 3 Controller as often, but it's definitely a possibility, but 2 is also very common. Here they're going to switch the Teus to attack, and they're going to go battle phase, attack in with everything. And ShamWow's going to need a good draw here. Main phase 2, setting the Sphere and passing. Here ShamWow gets a copy of Cards of Consonance, so that is a start for that. Going Cards of Consonance, discarding Flameveil Guard, drawing Maxi and Whitestone. Setting 1, here Sphere is going to be activated, Maxi is going to be chained to that, Lind is then summoned, and ShamWow gets a copy of DD Crow. And then Lind is going to be destroyed via Sphere, and that's going to summon a Abyss lead. ShamWow gets a Gold Sark. Prop will then draw into a copy of Debunk for turn, going for Title Effect. Crow is activated. And then here the lead is going to be activated, which doesn't get activated that often. But what that's going to do is tribute a Mermail monster. I think it has to be specifically Mermail. Let me just find it here. You contribute one other attack position Mermail monster, send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Kind of funny you don't see that effect too much, but here they are going to discard the Gold Sark. Next, Megalo's going to activate, tributing the Teus to be able to attack twice. They're going to go battle phase, and yeah, that's going to force a game number 3. So this time ShamWow will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Foolish Burial, Dragon Shrine, Trade-In, Burial from a Different Dimension, and Trade-In, so all the draw power and stuff. This could be a potential crazy turn for ShamWow already. And then on the other side, we see Lind, Torrential, Soul Charge, Pike, and Gund. So not the worst hand either from Prop. So let's see how this goes. Drawing into another copy of Dragon Shrine. Here they're going to go Dragon Shrine, dumping Guard and Whitestone to add a copy of Blue Eyes. So now the Trade-In is live. Activate Trade-In, drawing into Card Trooper and Sacred Sword. Okay. And they're going to take a second to think here, going Foolish for Whitestone to get another copy of Blue Eyes so that the second Trade-In is live. Going for it, getting a Cards of Consonance and another Dragon Shrine. So kind of an interesting hand here. Here they're going to set the Card Trooper and set the Cards of Consonance and a Dragon Shrine, passing it over to Prop, who gets a copy of Megalo. So let's see, kind of an underwhelming turn from ShamWow, but playing it slow, they still have a lot of gas if they make it to their next turn. But here Prop is going to summon the copy of Pike, using the effect discarding the copy of Lyn to get a copy of, what was that, Marksman, I believe? Going Megalo, discarding the Marksman and Gund to summon. Here the Marksman's going to trigger, and targeting... Which one is this? The Cards of Consonance. I guess it was irrelevant. Both sets were kind of bluffs anyways. And the Gund is going to be able to summon back, and the Megalo is going to add the Sphere. So Lind is summoned, going battle phase. Attacking over to the Trooper, which is going to draw Tempest a copy of... get ShamWow a copy of Tempest, my bad. So now the Sacred Sword of 7-star will be online, and the Lind is going to get in for some damage here. So, just doing some damage there. Main phase 2 setting the Sphere and Torrential. Back over to ShamWow, who gets a copy of Gorseska. They're going to activate Dragon Shrine, sending Guard and Blaster. Next, they're going to go Sacred Sword to 7-star, banishing the Tempest, drawing into Upstart and Mythic Water Dragon. Then Tempest is going to activate, getting a Debris Dragon. Going Upstart, getting a copy of Crow. That's very strong. Summon the Debris to get back the Card Trooper. Taking a second to think here, Torrential is going to be activated. Okay, so here we go. The Lind is going to activate, and the Card Trooper is going to activate. Here, Prop will get a copy of Abyss Lead, and ShamWow draws a copy of Upstart. Activates Upstart, getting a copy of Soul Charge. That's really good. Goes Soul Charge for Debris Trooper, it looks like. And getting a little low on life there. Trooper is going to activate, sending for cost. What did they hit here? Soul Charge, Rivalry, and Redox. Oh, wait, no. The Soul Charge was what was activated. Did they send... Oh, okay, they sent Wing Blast, Redox, and Rivalry. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. And then Synchro Summoning for Black Rose, just to clear out the board. That is going to force the Sphere, which is just going to summon a Pike. And everything goes there. And then here, it looks like Blaster is going to be summoned. Redox is going to be summoned. And then because they control a Earth, they can summon the Water Dragon. Normal summoning the Gorseska. Wait. Oh, they had Soul Charged for the Debris Dragon, right? Because did they start their turn by normal summoning this and then bringing back the Card Trooper, and then they Soul Charged after, or was that a different turn? I'll have to see, or someone will have to let me know in the comment section. I'll probably double check it. But here, oh, they are catching that you already normaled. Okay, so they're just kind of playing it back. I thought I was going crazy there for a second. But, okay, so they are taking back the Corseska, but still going, making some jokes there, and overlaying for a copy of Dracosac, using the effect of Dracosac to summon some tokens by detaching the Blaster. And they did Soul Charge this turn, so they're just going to set one and pass it over. Here, Prop has tons of life points, so they're going to go for a big Soul Charge here. And going for double Pike, Lind, Megalo, and Lead. They're going to use DD Crow, banishing one of the Pikes. Here, they're going to use Pike effect, discarding Infantry to add a Undyne. And then the Infantry is going to pop the Water Dragon, normal summon the Undyne, sending the title and getting the controller to hand, overlaying for a copy of Levier, using Levier to bring back the Pike. Overlay for a copy of Big Eye to take the Dracosac. And then they're going to use the Dracosac tributing itself to hit the back row, but unfortunately that is just the Burial from a Different Dimension, returning the Tempest and 2 others, overlaying for a copy of Dweller. And then, oh, they had Soul Charged, right? So here it looks like Dweller's going to be activated right away, and ShamWow, I believe, drew another Soul Charge there. Not a lot of life left, though, but they do have a lot in grave. They are going to go for the Soul Charge, bringing back Blaster and Tempest. So maybe doing another Big Eye type play, which they are going Big Eye to take the Big Eye, using the Big Eye to take the Dweller. And then it looks like, oh, that's kind of funny, they are going to Dweller Prop, who, you know, that does hurt Mermail a lot. And they're going to use Levier to then take the Card Trooper, using the Card Trooper, milling Soul Charge, Debunk, and Undyne. Unfortunately, not looking good for Prop now. Even though, you know, ShamWow's only on 900. So they need to try to do something. So here they are going to normal summon. And is that just the game? I think that's it. Do they not have any other Xyz or something to do a little more damage? Like, what could they even do here? We know that they have Mechwhip Engineer. This was at 19. That would have been less, so they could only do 200. They have nothing that could do, like, piercing or anything. I guess the levels kind of messed things up because, you know, if they were able to get a 4, then they might have been able to make a Black Rose or something. I don't think they had used it this game. So, crazy back and forth, but it does look like ShamWow will take that one. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and anyways, guys, again, make sure to go down to the video description to find out how to send in your hat format replays, and I will see you guys in the next video.